Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm in charge of the Homework Help Center and the volunteer program at Pickerington Public Library. And today I'm going to tell you about some new teen books that I'm really excited about. We're going to start with some shorter, quicker reads and work our way down to the bigger book series. So first off, I have Sasuke's Story. This is great if you are a fan of Naruto, anime or manga, and it's about Sasuke attempting to train Team 7, and because it is Sasuke, it does not go very well. So next up is a brand new series that I'm really excited about. They released the first 2 books at once. This one is about Lux. She's the new girl in school. She got kicked out of her last school for some complicated reasons. So she's just trying to keep her head down and get through class and maybe take some photography lessons and do some creative things. And of course, the things that caused her to leave her old school are going to follow her there. The thing that I really like about this series is each girl is going through kind of her own problems, her own things. Micah is trying to be kind of the perfect, well-behaved person. She's kind of got really high expectations from her family and the other people around her. And they're both dealing with some more involved, more complicated things under the surface. So I really, really like these girls, and I'm really excited about this series. This one's a romance. It's called The Gravity of Us, and it is about Cal, who is actually a famous YouTuber. He has lots and lots of followers on his social media platforms, and he has to move to a new town because his father just got hired as an astronaut. Except in this world, in order to get funding, NASA has teamed up with a reality TV show. So Cal's father is actually competing to be the next astronaut to go on a mission. And Cal falls in love with the son of a competing astronaut. So they've got this awkward thing where the cameras are on them all the time. They're under the spotlight. And these 2 boys are falling for each other. So we're going to go creepy now. This book is called Hope You're Listening. Dee survived an abduction attempt that took her best friend several years ago. And now as a teenager, she runs a true crime podcast where they work to solve cold cases. And a girl in her town gets kidnapped, and she's called upon to help solve the case, and is finding things that might connect to her friend's disappearance. So it looks really edge of your seat, really creepy, looks really, really awesome. Next up, we're going to go sporty. This book is called Furia. It is about a girl named Camille who lives in Argentina, and her parents are very traditional. They don't want her playing soccer, football in South America, and so she's playing in secret, and she's on a team in secret, and her team makes it to the South American playoffs. So she needs permission from her parents, who don't know that she's playing this game, who don't know she's a good player, and her secrets start piling up on each other, and of course things start to get complicated. Next up, this is probably one of my favorite books of winter, and possibly one of my favorite biography memoirs of all time. It's a memoir called Sitting Pretty by Rebecca Tossing, and memoir means that she is telling her own story. As you can see, she is in a wheelchair. She has been disabled for most of her life, and it is her telling stories about growing up with a disability. So her childhood, how birthday parties and sleepovers had to be a little bit different for her, talking about how people maybe are a little too helpful when she's out in public or rude to her. I love this book. It's funny, it's honest. It taught me a lot about what it means to be moving in the world with a disability, and I really, really like her writing style. She actually has an Instagram, Sitting Pretty, so you can check her out on there too and see if this is a book that you'd be interested in. I love this book so much. Our next book hasn't actually come out yet. It is released in January, so I have a cover image of it. It is called Lore, and this is really good for fans of Percy Jackson. If you like mythology, if you like complicated plot lines and gods and monsters, this is the book for you. The gods inhabit mortal bodies, and every 7 years those mortal bodies can be killed, and therefore there are families of hunters who set about to kill the gods and take the power for themselves. Laura's from a family of hunters that have been extinct, annihilated, and she wants out of this life. But the gods don't want to let her go. They keep dragging her in. So it's a really, really good story. Love the mythology. Super excited for this one to come out in January. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about a series. This is actually book 4. This is the end of the series, and it just came out. Book 1 is called An Ember in the Ashes. Laia is part of the Conquered Scholar class, and she has just found out that her brother has been kidnapped by the government because he is part of the rebellion. And then Elias is actually just graduating soldier training, so he is part of the government that has been oppressing Laia's people, and he's questioning everything he's been taught. He doesn't really fall into line. They cross paths as Laia looks for her brother, and Elias tries to figure out what the right thing to do is. There's a lot of world building. If you like long series, if you like complicated series, this is definitely the one for you. So that's what I've got. Check out the links in the description for information on how to check out the books and more information about homework help at the Pickerington Public Library. And you can always give us a call if you're not sure what kind of book you want to read next, and we'd be happy to recommend some to you.